I'm Rob Liefeld, creator of Deadpool, Cable, Domino, X-Force, all of it. And you are listening to Daily Dose of Comics, the best podcast available. If you're not listening to Daily Dose, what are you doing? Get on that. Daily Dose of Comics. Who doesn't want a daily dose of comics? I want a daily dose of comics, okay? Daily Dose of Comics, the number one podcast. You should be listening to it like multiple times a day. Do it. Liefeld stamp of approval. Take care. Rob Liefeld out. Daily Dose of Comics.
Oh, yeah, guys. Get excited. This is Daily Dose of Comics for Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and I'm glad you're here to listen to me talk about some comics in a very difficult and hard time, at least in our world today. With everything going on with the coronavirus, I am here at home trying to keep myself healthy. It's like each and every day I find more people that I know that have the coronavirus, so trying to be wise, trying to be proactive, trying to keep myself safe. So I hope wherever you're at, wherever you're listening, you're keeping yourself healthy and safe. And maybe you're dealing with someone you know, or maybe you have the virus yourself. I want you to know that you're in my thoughts, thinking of you. Hopefully you can get through this and be stronger than ever. But I hope this brightens your day a little bit as we talk about the top 5 Marvel books and top 5 DC books that are hitting shelves tomorrow. Now, I've done this last couple of weeks, and it's got an overwhelmingly good response, so I thought I'd just keep it going and talk about my personal favorite books that are coming from Marvel and DC this week. Like I usually say, this isn't like the best books or what you may consider the best books, but these are what I'm picking up, and these are the books I'm excited to read. That being said, it looks like this week, I mean, they're still going to be on my pull list. I'm still going to support my local comic shop, but my local comic book shop is closing up. They're not going to be open for several weeks, so I'm going to buy my books digitally and still buy my actual physical copy books when they open back up, because it's still important, even through this time, to support local businesses, especially small businesses and local comic book shops. So make sure that you're continuing to support them as you find yourself able to. But before we get into these top 5 lists today, I want to let you know how you guys can get more content out of Daily Dose of Comics, or connect with us deeper. First off, if you have any thoughts or questions or ideas that you would like to, I'm going to turn myself up a little bit. How's that? Is that a little better? That you'd like to contribute, you can drop me an email at info@ddocomics.com. If you have interest on Facebook, you can find us there at Rebel Comics Alliance, where we post sneak peeks to each and every episode of Daily Dose of Comics. We're on Instagram at RCA_Studios. You can also find us on Twitter at DDOComics. And is that it? I think that's it. If you guys want to follow us on... Oh, I almost forgot. We're on YouTube as well. I posted a vlog last week. It was a nice long-form vlog. If you guys want to check it out, that's RCA Studios on YouTube, or you can just click the link below, and that'll take you right to our corny intro video that we tried to make funny, lighthearted, and just really corny. So make sure you check that out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with DC this week. Let's talk about my top 5 DC books this week. Coming in at number 5 is Wonder Woman, number 754. If you're liking this series, if you like Wonder Woman, this is really something you want to pick up. Also, it's kind of cool, in case you didn't hear, I guess they're going to be, or they're talking about releasing Wonder Woman 1984 early on demand. It's supposed to come out soon, and they're going to release it early for those who need it. And that's what I like about Disney Plus doing that, or Disney doing that with Onward, which I haven't seen yet, and Frozen 2. My daughter is obsessed with Frozen, so that's been like going nonstop on my TV for the last week or so, because she's obsessed with Frozen. I think at least in the coming weeks we're going to see more studios doing this just because all the theaters are closed. At least they are here in Iowa. And because of that, they're needing to create some sort of revenue. And I guess this is one way to do that. So number 5 on my list, I have Wonder Woman number 754. Number 4 on my list from DC, I have Red Hood Outlaw, issue number 44. Scott Lobdell, Chris Cross, Dan Mara, and Scott Hanna on this book. And where we find ourselves is that when tracking down an ancient evil that can hide in anyone, Red Hood and his outlaws have a hard time sniffing out their enemy by similarly hiding in plain sight. Are you ready for the outlaws to go undercover? The Untitled are unlike any foe they've ever faced. So if the outlaws are going to win, they're going to need to improvise. So this book is going to have us on the edge of our seats. I've been liking the Red Hood and the Outlaw series. It hasn't cracked my list yet, my top 5, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. And let me know if you're going to be picking it up or if that's a book you'd like to hear me review on the podcast. Number 3 on my list is Flash, number 752. This has been an awesome series lately. Joshua Williamson, Howard Porter on this book. Exiled outside time and space in Paradox Realm, the Scarlet Speedster is confronted by ghosts from his past. Meanwhile, Iris discovers the one person who may help the Flash defeat Paradox, and it's not anyone Barry Allen would have ever asked for help. Will they be able to find where or when this unlikely ally is hiding before it's too late? Pick up Flash number 752 to find out who's that unlikely outlaw. And if you want to hear me review that book, make sure you let me know in any of the ways you see listed below. Number 2 on my list from DC Comics, we have Detective Comics issue number 1021. Thomasai, Brad Walker, Andrew Hennessy on this book. It's part 2 of the Ugly Heart series, which is really cool. If you love Two-Face, he's one of my favorite Batman villains, and that's why I have Detective Comics number 2 on my list, because I love Two-Face. And in this book, Two-Face has returned, and his Church of the Two has grown into one of the most dangerous and destructive cults Gotham has ever seen. So why is the only person trying to kill Two-Face his own alter ego, Harvey Dent? Batman at last has found hope of a permanent cure for his friend's evil split personality. But if there's hope of ridding the world of the dreaded Two-Face for good, Bruce and Harvey must team up to beat back the bad. How cool is that? How cool is that storyline? And now, I guess that begs the question, is Two-Face really Two-Face if Batman's able to find a cure to get rid of the multiple personalities? Or is it just Batman versus the bad side of Harvey Dent? And how can you really get rid of two personalities if it's in one body? You know, either way, even if he's found a cure to split Harvey Dent off from the alter ego of Two-Face, it doesn't mean that he's still not two-faced. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have an alter ego still, you know, he's still struggling. So that's why I have Detective Comics issue number 1021 and number 2 on my list. Number 1 on my list I don't think will be too much of a surprise for you, and really it's number 1 on my list because I've been reading this book every time it's come out. It's been a black label book that they like to charge $7.99 for a book that's worth $3.99, maybe $4.99. It's Batman Curse of the White Knight, issue number 8 of 8. It's the final 2 battles. Sean Murphy's on this book. Witness the final battle of the 2 bats in this conclusion to the second installment of the White Knight saga. After learning the truth about his name and fortune, Bruce Wayne has made a shocking public announcement in pursuit of redemption. But before he can secure Gotham's future and prosperity once and for all, he must protect the city in one last brutal showdown with Azrael. With Batman devastated by his shattered identity and with little left to lose, there may be nothing left to stop him from abandoning his code and resorting to one unthinkable, desperate measure. Batman, Curse of the White Knight, issue 8 of 8. And this is a cool looking Batman as well. So if you've been reading this series, I've just been invested that to the point where I got to pick it up. It's my number one book. It's the one book I'm really looking forward to reading this week, and and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. At least on the app that I use to manage my pull list, there are a lot of people pulling this book this week, and I can understand why, because it's been 7 Black Label issues at $7.99 or $9.99 a piece. At this point, if it is $9.99 a piece, I'd have to look. I don't quite remember, but if it is that much, that means I've invested $80 in this series over last year just on this one book, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, Batman: Curse of the White Knight, issue number 8 of 8. So it's finishing up. So let's shift gears here a little bit. Let's move on over to my top 5 Marvel books this week. Coming in at number 5, I have Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 42. Nick Spencer, Ryan Ottley on this book. Not much to it, but I'm really enjoying Boomerang. And so that's why I put this at number 5 at my list. Knowing that Boomerang is doing sure didn't help. Spidey and Boomerang are in trouble in a very big way. And so what's that going to look like? I don't know. But for what's coming out from Marvel this week, I had to put Spider-Man issue number 42 at number 5 on my list. Number 4 on my list, I have Star Wars Bounty... Oh, excuse me. I'm wrong. Number 4, I have Immortal Hulk, issue number 33. Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, Alex Ross. I've been following this book for a long time, and this is a big issue. Celebrating 750 issues of The Incredible Hulk. Something is wrong. Something has compromised the simulacrum. This is an extra-sized book where Banner is refusing to yield. Something is wrong. Plus, enter the thoughtful man. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. What's going to happen in this book? I don't know. It's a bigger sized issue, so it's probably, I think it's going to be a book that's going to fly off shelves this week. If you've been reading The Immortal Hulk for some time, make sure you pick it up. I have it at number 4 on my list. Now on to number 3, we have Star Wars Bounty Hunters, issue number 2. You have Ethan Sachs on this book. We also have Paolo Villanelli. Bounty hunters draw first blood. Cyborg bounty hunter Valance will stop at nothing to find his old mentor, Nakano Lash. After her stinging betrayal years earlier. But other bounty hunters have taken the job after a vicious crime lord put out the hit. Everyone's got a reason to go after the traitorous Nautilin Bosk, Boba Fett, and a slew of new killers are hot on Lash's trail. Can Valance get to her first? And what could have possibly made Lash break her word and betray her fellow hunters? The truth could shake the foundation of the criminal underworld in the galaxy. Sounds good, huh? Bosk, Boba Fett, Valance, a lot of awesome names in this book. If you love Star Wars, and especially if you love Star Wars Bounty Hunters, you're going to want to pick up this book, Star Wars Bounty Hunters, issue number 2, at number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is a new book this week from Marvel. It's Hellions, issue number 1. Zeb Wells, Stefan Segovia, and it's, on the front you got Morbius and Psylocke and a bunch of characters. And the sort of synopsis of this book is: the bad is the new good. When Krakoa opens the door to all mutants and forgave all past crimes, they might have known that they'd have to accept some of the worst foes into the fold. But they didn't plan for what to do with them. Not to worry, Mr. Sinister, that's who I meant, not Morbius, knows what to do with the troublemakers. Meet his new Hellions, the Scalp Hunter, the Wild Child, Empath, Nanny, Orphan Maker, Psylocke, and Havoc. Under Sinister's direction, they are sure to become productive members of mutant society. Zeb Wells and Steven Segovia. I'm really excited to see them work together on this book. It sounds like a lot of fun when you have Mr. Sinister calling all the shots. And in this team, this lineup of mutants, all their past crimes are forgiven, and how are they going to adapt and change to mutant society for the good? It'll be interesting to pick up. So Hellions issue number 1. I don't think this will be much of a surprise what I have at my number 1 spot because of how successful and crazy people went with issue number 1. Number 1 on my list is Wolverine issue number 2. Ben Percy, Adam Kubert. The worst is back. Wolverine has never been one to back down from a fight, not even a combined assault from Lady Deathstrike, Sabretooth, and Dr. Cornelius. But the Flower Cartel might have enlisted his worst and greatest foe, Logan himself. Make sure you pick up Wolverine issue number 2 this week. That will be number 1 on my list. Let me know what you guys thought. What do you think of my top 5 DC? What do you think of my top 5 Marvel list? Are there books that I'm completely putting an oversight on? If so, let me know. I'd like to have your input by connecting with us in the ways you see listed below. I'm trying to keep up with producing comic book content for you guys through this difficult time. So if we can help, if we can encourage one another, I think we should do that. So if you got something going on, maybe you have a need in your life, drop a note on any of our social medias, and we'll try to get with you, maybe offer some support and bond over comics. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you listened to this. Make sure you check back tomorrow for another exciting episode of Daily Dose of Comics. Thanks for your attention. Always remember, Rebels unite, Rebels for life. Take care, guys. Peace.